Ever feel like you're totally in over your head trying to raise decent human beings?
That's a lot, right?
It is a lot. That's why this guide on raising respectful kids is like the perfect deep dive for, well, everyone.
Totally. And this one's straight to the point. 5 key tips. No fluff.
Love that. And the first one, it's got to be the one we hear all the time, but they're onto something, be the example.
Yeah, model respectful behavior, they say.
Yeah.
But it's easier said than done when you're exhausted, right?
Oh, tell me about it. But this guide really made me think, like, even those little moments, they matter. Like how we treat the waitstaff at a restaurant, even if the service is, like, the worst.
Exactly. Kids are little sponges. If we're yelling at the barista, guess who's going to yell at you next time they don't get their way?
Ugh, don't even.
Hmm.
So true, though.
Right. And it's not just the big blow-ups. It's the everyday stuff. Saying please and thank you. Apologizing when we mess up.
Which, let's be honest, is like at least 3 times a day in my house.
Uh-huh. Same here. But the point is, those little words, they teach kids so much about empathy, about considering other people's feelings.
Okay, that's a good point I hadn't thought about. It's not just about being polite. It's about, like, social intelligence, right?
Exactly. And that leads us to the next tip, setting clear expectations. Because if we're wishy-washy, kids are going to be lost at sea.
So true. This guide had some great examples, like at a friend's house, we use inside voices, but at the playground, it's okay to be loud.
Right. And explaining the why behind the rules, that's huge. Kids are more likely to cooperate when they understand.
Makes sense. But even with the best intentions, like, we're human, kids are going to mess up, we're going to lose our cool sometimes, it happens.
It does. And that's where the guide's advice on addressing disrespect comes in. The key is, don't just punish, teach.
Oh, that's so important. I'm totally guilty of just yelling, go to your room sometimes.
We've all been there. But if we can take a breath and explain, when you called your sister a name, it hurt her feelings, it helps them connect the dots.
That's powerful. And finally, something I think we could all use more of, celebrating the good stuff.
Catching them being good. This guide says it's the most effective way to reinforce those respectful behaviors.
Because who doesn't love a little positive attention, right? But instead of just a generic, good job, the guide suggests being specific. Like, I noticed you shared your toys with your friend. That was really kind.
Exactly. Acknowledging those small acts of respect, that's what makes it stick.
So to sum it all up, we're modeling respectful behavior, using those magic words, setting clear expectations, addressing disrespect head on, and catching them being good.
It sounds like a lot, but really it's about weaving those things into our everyday interactions.
Totally. It's not about being perfect. It's about being mindful and consistent. And maybe, just maybe, raising some pretty awesome humans along the way.
Exactly. And now that you've got these tips, what's one small way you can start modeling respect in your own life today?
That's a great question and a perfect note to end on. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive, everyone.